Parenting. This is something that I know very little about because it's a long ways down in my future. I don't currently plan on becoming a parent until I'm like at the earliest 25 or 26. Most people become parents around their 20s or 30s though. So today we're going to be talking about parenting with my grandparents. And I am so excited for their advice. I mean, parenting can be rough, parenting can be brutal at some points. It very much tests your patience. It can make you question yourself. How do you know if you're a good parent? How do you know if you're doing a good job? What happens if your kids don't turn out the way that you raised them to turn out to be? So this episode is about parenting.
It's hard to remember all these years for us.
Well, my 30s were the best time of my life.
Really?
The 30s were the best time.
Wow.
I lived in California. I was working out of the house. I was able to have all of my children around me. I lived in California. The weather was beautiful. We went to the beach, always had plenty of money. And I had my kids and they were little. And, you know, watching them grow and learn. And I went and watched Julie play softball all the stinking time. She played travel ball. For me, that was just a joy.
30s, 40s, I was spending a lot of time at the ballpark with the kids. They were both playing baseball, and we were in the ballpark 7 days a week between the two of them.
Well, we had Jared and Alex, so our life revolved around them. We ate out all the time because we were at the ballparks all the time. And when we weren't at the park, the boys and I usually were with my mom going to Ionia to pick peaches, or we were always doing something.
Sarah was a little cutie pie, and she was always in Girl Scouts and brownies, and just, you know, having the kids when they were little and spending time with them. Mm-hmm. For me, that was the best time of my whole life, was my 30s.
I had Chris and Bobby. I didn't have any kids until I was about 25. So
I was mostly working. We went on a lot of trips, and then we started having foster kids.
And when we got together, I asked him how many kids he wanted. He only wanted 1 or 2 more. And I wanted 12. They were about having a lot of kids in my life. It was during the adoption stage in our lives. And we had adopted, how many kids did we adopt? 8? A large group of kids. And so it was all about keeping up with every one of those kids.
I think personally my 30s and 40s were, you know, you think you're doing all the right things, you think you're raising your kids right. That's when you realize a lot of your dreams aren't going to come true. You're just like everybody else. You're going to have to work for a living. You're going to have to save for retirement. You're going to have to bust your butt, and you need to set the example for your kid. I think that's when a lot of that sets in, and you hope and pray you're doing the right thing. My best parenting advice, I don't know that I was a good parent.
My best parenting advice is let your kids be kids and instill good ethics for your kids. Teach them to be good citizens.
kids should really respect you, because if they really respect you and love you, there's the trust and respect other people. Like Bobby did that a lot. He respected a lot on the school bus. One time, this one girl, and they were making fun of her, and he got up and he says, "Leave her alone. How would you like to be like that?" He's done that a lot, and I cannot believe. Well, actually, both my kids. So I guess I did do good on that.
Discipline. You don't have to beat the hell out of anybody, but a good spanking never hurt anybody. You know, you can discipline and love your kids as much as possible. You love them more than anything in the world. You'll do anything for them, but you have to teach them right from wrong, manners. You can teach them all of that with love. So love your kids, but don't hesitate to discipline them. Teach them right from wrong. Teach them the manners. Teach them about elderly people. Yeah. You know, right now my grandkids are they're so awesome when it comes to that. Reagan grabbed my mom's hand to walk her out to the car, and Reagan was having to hold it way up in the air, but I've got Grandma, I'll get her, I got her, I'll take her out. And Ashton's so good to help carry everything, and that's important. That's important. They learn that and carry that with them.
I would say pick somebody that you can emulate. When I say that, I mean like I picked my grandpa. He was a guy that everybody respected. He was a guy that was no BS. If he told you this is what you do, by God, this is what you do. And you just trusted him. I tried to be like that. Now I don't think I was ever probably real close. No baloney. This is the rules. And I wasn't always real strict, but I wasn't very lenient either.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I tell them, you gotta use common sense before you go out and do anything. Because if you don't, you could be doing some pretty dumb stuff.
Listen to your kids.
Take time to listen, because sometimes kids have a point of view, and sometimes they're right. And you got to be able to know to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. If they got in trouble, maybe there's a reason why, and maybe you can help them with it rather than have to discipline them for it.
And talk to your kids. That is talk. Don't talk at them. Sit down and talk to your kids and kind of help them.